So hello, everyone. So we have a very exciting topic today. So, you know, I hear a lot that people are applying to different scholarships, but they never succeed, they never win them. And in most cases, the problem is in how to write motivation letters or the application letters. They can be called differently, statement of purpose, statement of intent, you know, they might be called differently, but the essence remain the same. And thanks for Begzod, who kindly agreed, Begzod Hakimov, who kindly agreed to talk about this today. Begzod Hakimov is an experienced teacher, admission mentor, and motivational letter writing expert with about 12-year teaching experience. So he taught different general English, business English, IELTS, TOEFL preparation, as well as SAT, GRE, and others. He's the founder and manager of different educational projects, and he's currently based in Almaty. So yeah, I think he will take it from here. So thank you, Begzod, and the floor is yours.
Thank you for inviting me. It's my pleasure. Okay, thank you for introduction. Warm welcome. So we will start. Hello, everybody. I'm really glad that you have managed to join our webinar today. I'm just brief information about my background. I'm originally from Samarkand. I was born and raised in Samarkand. Completed my bachelor's degree in Tashkent. Afterwards, due to some personal circumstances, I moved to Almaty, and I've been living in Almaty for 13 years. Throughout this year, I've been teaching, actually been involved in educational projects, teaching, founding, managing, and many stuff. Applied many times myself to different scholarship schemes. Today, we are going to talk each of them. I was successful, was not successful. Based on this experience, knowledge, I've decided to establish a motivational letter project, you know, to help predominantly Central Asian students, because we have brilliant students with, I would say, exceptional academic credentials. But the problem is letters. So I divided into two categories, IQ and EQ. IQ, it's like your scores, your grades, your exam results. When it comes to EQ, emotional intelligence, we have a problem. We have a big problem. So that's why I decided to launch this project and to support and train our young potential candidates to have quality and prestigious education abroad. So today's topic is the main key secret of winning or receiving or getting scholarship. So just to begin with, I would like to ask for those who are attending today's webinar, have you ever applied to any kind of scholarship program? Just put plus if you applied. I don't need comment. I just want to know if you tried yourself already or not, just to see. So we have Maftuna Karima, 4 pluses. It means that you applied 4 times, presumably, but I'm not sure, but still at least once you tried. Asadbek plus, Shaira plus, Nilufar, Bana Munisa Husam. Majority actually applied, not yet, but going to apply for Erasmus Mundus program. Okay, cool. We are going to talk about it as well. So main secret, let's keep on. Just before starting, I've been working in admission mentorship like just for 10 years. And when clients or parents or students come to me, they say, I want to win scholarship. Or somebody says, I want to get or receive or win grant. And I started thinking, are the same or there is a difference? Guys, what about you? Have you ever thought scholarship and grant the same thing or there is a difference? What do you think about it? Have you ever thought about it? Just put plus if you have ever thought about it. If you have never thought about it, just put minus, sorry. Because majority don't know the difference actually. they think that it's the same. Never, but soon, not yet, minus, etc. So actually me also, I was using these words or terms interchangeably without paying attention to the core meaning of these words. But afterwards, I decided to check it up, and it turned out that there is a difference, and we should know about it when we talk about some sort of opportunity abroad, yes? So what is scholarship? Scholarship is a merit-based. It is usually given based on your academic achievements, social achievements, whatever related with your intentional achievements, Olympiads, sports achievements, social involvement, whatever. So it is merit-based scholarship, and it's based on your, as I said, academic credential. What about grant? Grant is it might be some part of, it might be in form of discount from your tuition fee, for example. It is given based on your certain circumstances, mainly financial situation. You might have parents who have retired, for example, or without job, or you don't have father or mother, any kind of situation, financial constraints might be a reason for you to grant on behalf of the university some sort of money to support your studies and intentions. So this is important, in my opinion, to know about these things. When using, you would be more confident. So we have different kind of scholarship projects applicable to Central Asian students. So why Central Asian? Because I mainly help for Central Asian students. So maybe you know some of them. We'll go quickly through each of them. So the first one on the left top is Chevening Scholarship Program. I think you might have heard about it. It's very prestigious, challenging, and highly competitive scholarship project. I managed to win the scholarship from the second attempt. The first attempt was I was finalist and I was reserved candidate. I was not a little bit good enough to get the scholarship, as I was told and as I concluded. The second year, I managed to get the scholarship, but couldn't go to UK because of family conditions. So I had to choose between two things. So competing interests, you have to put priorities. So I got the second daughter, so that's why I couldn't leave. There were other reasons. That's why actually I wanted, but didn't have a chance to study abroad. The second one is on the top, CrossCulture internship program. I think majority don't know about it. It is not a degree program. It is professional exchange program, internship. I have won this internship in 2013 and spent 3 months in Germany, in Berlin, and worked in educational center, one of the biggest education center in Germany. So it's like professional experience. You can apply to this program. It's a wonderful program. After returning from Germany, I've been, for 4 years, I've been the member of selection committee in Almaty and used to interview finalists from Kazakhstan. So if you need more information inside about this project, you can, get in touch with me later on, because I know this project as an alumni, as a selection committee member, and I can tell you anything about it. And it's really wonderful, fully covered. You can apply to it as well. So very soon, in 2 months, I think it would be open to apply. The next one, Fulbright scholarship. I believe you know about it. It's like master's degree program in the United States, full scholarship.
As well as for teachers.
Fulbright, yes, we have FLT, Fulbright Language Teaching Assistant Program. It's a little different. It's not
program nowadays.
Nowadays, yes. It's not non-degree program for current teachers, but they have limitations. I think you have to be under 29 years old and other limitations. In terms of Fulbright master's degree program, there is no limitation. Only limitations, you cannot apply to do your master's degree in medicine. So they don't support programs in medicine.
Yes,
this is only,
except
medicine. Study in Japan, we have different master's degree program scholarships. So next we have in many others. I'm not going to stop it here. Turkey bursları, it's like Turkish scholarship for undergraduate, for master's and PhD programs. It's really nice program as well, fully covered. So you can study in Turkey for free, in either in English language or in Turkish language. Good opportunity as well. Next one is Erasmus Mundus program. I think you know about it. It's like 2-year master's degree program. What I like about this program is, so you'll spend, you study in 3 countries in 2 years. The first semester and the last semester in the main university, for example, in Germany. The second and third would be in different countries. You know about them well in advance, as the programs are fixed and you know where you apply. From this point of view, it's really nice program. I like it, I think. It would be really useful for networking, especially since you study in different countries, meet different students. Next one is DAAD, Germany. It's for master's degree program. It provides you, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, 850 euro. That's it. So actual education in public university is free. So this money is actually, since I live it there, I can tell you this amount of money is well enough for one student to live and enjoy his or her studies. So very soon, I think it's also open. Deadline is the 1st of December. November, sorry, November. Next one is Global U-Grade. It's for undergraduate degree program. If you're current undergraduate student in any university in Uzbekistan, you can apply and spend 1 academic year in the United States for free. Study the same subject or major you are pursuing in Uzbekistan, for example. It's for undergraduate, I think, wonderful opportunity. Next one is Hungarian governmental program. It's for undergraduate degree and master's degree program. So you can study in Hungarian language, but as well as in English language. So it covers dormitory would be free, education would be free, and they would give you 150 euros for food, but it's not well enough. So you need around 100 euro more, but still it's a good opportunity. You can earn this money there because I've helped to win this scholarship in the last 2 years for 4 students from Kazakhstan for this scholarship. And I have, inside information from Hungary. So 250 euros enough, actually. And last one is study in Korea. So it's now called Korea Global Scholarship for undergraduate and master's degree program. Again, you can apply for English studies, for example, in English or in Korean language. So they have a couple of stages and highly competitive, but it's very rewarding. So it's one of the list. List is really big, but I decided to put these projects here because they're very famous and very prestigious. But I have one question. What do you think? In order to win any of the scholarship, what is necessary? A part of language, put it aside because you have to know English or foreign language where you apply. What is the key to success? What do you think? Can you write down like experience, whatever? It's up to you. Just I want to know, what do you think? Because if you applied, you must have some sort of idea about it or conclusion even. No comments? Okay. Academic knowledge, persistence, experience, excellent essay. Oh, I like this answer. Excellent essay. This is relevant to our today's webinar. Motivational letter experience, be active academic ground. Okay, thank you very much. So let's continue. Yes, I agree with all your comments. All these factors in combination would play a key role. Of course, in this context, your letters and recommendation letters you get from recommenders play a crucial role. We'll come back to it a bit later, but let's continue. What is motivational letter? I'm often asked, actually, when I was trying myself, like 10 years ago, I questioned many times myself, what's motivational letter? What's motivational letter? Yes, and we have different definitions, interpretations about what is motivational letter. But I have my own, based on my experience. I think I can give some sort of definition. It is an opportunity to sell yourself, to advertise yourself, for example. Of course, when I say sell, some people get confused. Maybe they don't get the point immediately, but this is what you need to do. You have to learn how to sell yourself. And from my personal experience, I can tell you that majority of us sell ourselves 3 times in our lifetime. The first one is, in any order, okay? There is no ranking, just I would tell you in random order. One case is, for example, when you want to get a job, you apply to a job and you invite to interview. You have to make sure that the employer, potential employer, would choose you, not another candidate. So you'll do everything to show everything, to say everything, so to catch the attention and make sure that they would stop on your candidacy. This is the first case. The second case is, for example, when it's high time to get married, you go for dating. And if you like your potential partner, you will do everything to make sure that that person would like you. This is life. So this is the second case where you have to sell yourself. And the third case is connected to the academic setting. When you apply, especially to foreign universities, it's not so applicable in Central Asia, a part of some universities nowadays. In general, it's more about Western universities. When you apply, you have to make sure that they would choose you among potential candidates around the world, from China, from Russia, from India, everywhere. How can you stand out? What you need to do in order to stand out from the potential candidate pool of potential candidates? It's a tough question. And what is the problem is we are not taught about it. 3 occasions we learn by doing. There is no course or special system in any level of education system in our region that teaches how to sell yourself. That's why when you face it, it's a big challenge, and not everybody can, do well. That's a problem actually. So if you, what I usually say like this: if you can sell something to somebody, for example, I remember when I was young, I used to sell, chewing gums, anything not to make money. So this is the first step. If you can sell something, the next step is to try to sell yourself. So it's step by step. So that's why it's an opportunity to sell yourself and advertise yourself in front of the admissions office. In order to develop such a kind of skill, you have to ask yourself, how often do I tell about myself to other people? Have you ever thought, how often do you tell about yourself to other people? Every day, every week? I can't remember. It's a hard question. So I had so many answers in the last 2-3 years while providing master classes, online and offline. And not everybody can say, for example, do we have somebody from today's meeting who can tell that often, or can, let me see myself, like recommendation. Can you tell me how often do you talk about yourself to other people? Do we have somebody who can say often, or who thinks that he tells or she tells about himself or herself to other people often? Who? I need one candidate just to have an experiment now. Nodira, maybe you will help if you know them. I need one volunteer. Just quick question, quick answer, short answer. That's it. Often I'm too much talkative. Azamjon Khudaykhulov, can I ask you, I would give you, don't pay attention time, I would count myself. Just, the question is easy. Tell me about yourself. Tell me 3 to 5 sentences, please. Tell me about yourself, Azamjon.
Thank you very much. Nowadays, I'm studying at the Tashkent State University of Oriental Studies post course. I have lots of experience and in different fields. For example, I have skills in diplomacy, and I have leadership skills. Because
okay, thank you. 4 sentences I've counted, maybe 5.
Sorry. Yeah.
No, that's okay. You have told that. Thank you very much. Now I have a question to other people. So everybody has listened, right? 4 or 5 sentences. Who can provide some adjectives to describe his personality? Please give me some adjectives. What kind of person, Azam Johnny?
He's later.
How do you know? He told like this, but we didn't receive any evidence. I can't tell I'm a very handsome guy, but it's my opinion. Accurate, Fubish. Okay, now I will tell you 1 sentence about myself. It's 2 sentences. Give me adjectives about me, okay? I enjoy public speaking. So give me adjectives. What kind of personality do I have?
Sociable.
Public
speaker.
Sociable, outgoing, self-confident, probably, because yes, in order to stand out in front of the audience, you have to be self-confident. No way. Communicator. So you see 1 sentence, so many adjectives. What I want to say, the problem in motivational letters when we write is we provide a lot of sentences, but the value is not so considerable. So you have to put in every word, in every sentence, as much as possible information about yourself. This is key to success. That's why motivational letters are not written in 1 day. It's a time-consuming process. That's why when you write, you have to think several times. So I'm mentioning this. So what kind of information the reader would get? How the reader would understand what you have written? That's the question. And it takes time, and you need to develop your skills in order to write such a kind of, concise but very rich, full of information, sentences. So let's continue. So we understand that we don't often tell about ourselves to other people. I prepared 10 questions by answering to any of which you can provide so much information about your personality to the reader. Let's see those questions. We are not going to ask and answer, but at least I would give you some examples. So, okay, 1 second. Okay, so the question is, in Russian, of course, I think, do you consider yourself as a pleasant person, for example? What was the best day, yes? And so on. They are very easy, but when I ask these questions, many people cannot answer immediately because it's very deep. And by answering to any of these questions in your letter, in your motivational letter or admission essay, let's call it, you can provide very valuable information about your personality and background. So that's why you must think about it. If you teach students at school or university, lyceum, ask these questions. Let them think about these questions and develop their original answers. These are very important. Let's see other 10 questions. Who's the ideal person for you? Yes. Where do you see yourself in 5, 10 years? What kind of personality trait do you think the best one? What kind of habits you would like to develop in yourself? Who inspires you? And many other questions. Easy and very difficult to come up with an original answer. You can answer anyway, but if you want to provide an answer which the reader or admission committee would be surprised or shocked or amazed, it takes time. So from this perspective, you need to think about it well in advance. Let's keep on. Why motivational letter is a big challenge for many students, despite of background, age, and education, actually. Because many people don't know what to include in the motivational letter. What kind of message or mission it should have, and how to write it accordingly, according to some rules or criteria. I can tell you one thing. When I was schoolboy, I didn't like to write any kind of essays in any language, Russian or Uzbek language. But why? Because there was certain restrictions, rules. In motivational letters, there is only one rule: word limit. That's it. So you can be as creative as possible. That's what I love about it. You can write in any style, in any approach, but you have to keep the limit. It might be word limit, it might be page limit. That's it. And there might be some topics, but in general, it's very flexible. And let's see about the structure, firstly. There is no standard structure, but there, in my opinion, it's usually between 500 and 1,000 words. There is no accepted structure, but I divide it into 3 parts: introduction, main part, and conclusion. Yes, but depending on the case, you have to double check with the program or university you apply to, and find out if they have some sort of requirements to specific motivation letters. So here, structure. Yes, let's see what we got. As I said, there is no standard format. Left side, I have already told you. On the right side, you can see. I'm often asked, can we use samples or templates from the internet? Because we have different types of motivational letters on the internet. And I always say, never ever copy. You can read them in order to develop your vision about how to write. But if you copy any part of this motivational letter, you might be dismissed on the ground of plagiarism. That's why be careful. Don't copy. Write your original one. But if you don't know how to do it, you can read a couple of them in order to see how people write successful motivational letters. And what to include in your motivational letter. 1 second. Let me come back. What to include? It should demonstrate your academic and professional achievements, your life vision, and personal values. And the last one is, I always say, do your homework. What it means. For example, many students apply to university and wait. Just wait. Yes? For example, I applied to Harvard University and I wait when I would receive final results, the decision. It shouldn't be like this. Before applying to scholarship program or university directly, you have to get in touch with the university admission team. So it's now easy. We have the internet, we have everything. It's not a big deal. Get in touch, write about yourself like, hey, I'm from Uzbekistan. I would like to apply to your master's degree program or scholarship program, but I'm not sure if it is, I fit or if it meets my expectation, both personal and academic expectations. So I would like to talk with you about it. If you communicate with the admission team a couple of times, there's a probability then when they receive your application, they might say, ah, Shahlo from Sirdarya, I remember her. She has written several times, called 5 times even. You see, it's a bonus already because the admission office would know you well in advance before actually reading your application. It's a big advantage. And 99% of candidates never do it. So it's a good idea and you should do it. And it would definitely help you. Let's keep on. And let's start. So now main part. It's important to know that the first paragraph and the first couple of sentences are very, very important. Introductory paragraph, I call it hook. Hook. Because admission office receives thousands of motivational letters. And it's so hard to surprise them or to catch the attention from the first sentence. So this is a task you have to accomplish. If you want to catch the attention of the reader and make sure that the reader would read your motivational letter till the end. So you have to think about the beginning. It has to be creative, thought-provoking, philosophical, or metaphorical. We'll see a couple of examples now. And usually when I help my clients to write motivational letters, we spend more time on the first paragraph because it is key to success actually. Now let's see a couple of successful examples and I'll give background information where the person was accepted. So this is the beginning of common application essay. It's a little bit different than motivational letter, but still beginning is interesting. The candidate thinks that he's a small boat on the ocean. So when I read, I have a lot of questions. Why small boat? Why not Titanic? Everybody thinks that we're a cool person, we're a smart person, and ego, I, is very big and high, deep inside everybody. But this person says that it's a small boat. So I have a lot of questions to him already. On the ocean, navigator is sister. So I want to know more about this candidate, and I would continue reading till the end in order to find out. So it should be like this, a little bit catching. Another example is, so this is, the first candidate was accepted to US University for bachelor's degree in computer science and got 90% of discount from tuition fee. This is the second example. I have always thought that if I study hard, so the person talks about himself, about his vision, ideas, and so on, and explains how it has been shaped or transformed. This boy also was accepted to the US University for bachelor's degree program. Next one would be master's degree. So I think it's going to be more interesting for you. So this candidate has got a background in law, but despite of this, we managed through this motivational letter win a scholarship, half scholarship, and admission to University of Melbourne for master's degree in financial management. As you know, it's very difficult when you have different background to get admitted to foreign university to another how to say major. So that's why it was a good surprise for me. If you read this sentence, you can find out this paragraph. You can find out many information about the mentality of local people, especially male people towards female. And when Australian admission office, who has never been to Kazakhstan probably, or doesn't know a lot of information, maybe anything about Kazakhstan, reads, he receives a lot of information, not only about candidate, but also about the local peculiarity of the region. So from this perspective, I think it was successful. Let's keep on. So we should keep in our mind what admission committee are looking for. That's very important. Through your motivational letters, because I cannot find out about your honesty or diplomacy from your scores or IELTS result. No. So by reading motivational letters or recommendation letters, they receive information about your ambitions, diplomacy, honesty, independence. How, I mean, when you go abroad, can you adapt easily? Are you independent enough nowadays, living in your country, in your city, in your comfort zone? Creativity. So creativity, as I said at the beginning, you can put, and it would work. Next 5, passion. So this is what they really like from my experience. So you have to demonstrate your passion towards your, if you're applying to master's degree, towards your profession, IT, law, engineering, whatever. But if you're applying to undergraduate degree program, it's about anything. It can be about anything, cooking, whatever. We had a case 2 years ago. One of my clients applied to Aberdeen University in the UK for master's degree in oil and gas. It is top one in oil and gas in the UK. And we wrote an essay about cooking because he really enjoys cooking and he often cooks, and he was accepted. So when you apply to undergraduate degree programs, it's not about how you structure, it's about what kind of information you provide about your personality mostly. When you apply to master's degree program, it's more structured. It must have introduction, conclusion, and many other parts about your academic background, about your professional background, about your personal values, why you want to study in this particular university in a particular major, and what are your short-term and long-term plans. So you have to include all these factors or information when especially you apply to master's degree program. For undergraduate, it is a little bit different. Personal, so ambition, passion, personal values, self-confidence, sense of humor, and initiative. It is not always possible to include all this information into one letter, but if you manage to put inside, incorporate 3 to 5 things about, I mean, from this perspective, I think that would be more than enough. Now, let's see a couple of useful advices, recommendations from my side. You have to make sure that your motivational letter, since it's usually one-paged, contains as much as possible information about yourself. Not only about your achievements, because you can upload your CV or resume and the admission committee can read about your achievements. This is more about yourself, your beliefs, your plans, your intentions, and so on. And you have to satisfy the expectations of the university where you apply. So you have to double check what they're looking for. It can be done doing mini research online usually through visiting and reading the website, university website and department website, and so on. Take into account university requirements to the motivational letter if they have. Put correctly and wisely, competently stress. If you want to stress out some sort of event in your personal background or professional, you have to stress out and provide more information why you think that this case or this encounter has been a turning point in your life or played a big role in the formation of a personality or gaining practical experience and so on. Never, not afraid, boast yourself, yes? I mean, if you don't talk about your achievements and advantages, who is going to talk about it? That's why you have to write about them, but you have to be very careful. You shouldn't say, I'm a leader. It doesn't work like this. You have to give some sort of example case from where by reading, I would find out myself, I would conclude myself. Not, you shouldn't say I'm a leader. There was a case when it was an urgent situation and I decided to help and did this and that. So it shows your leadership potential. That's enough for me. It has to be deliberate indirectly. This is what I want to say. This is a key to success. And you have to write with a beautiful and simple, concise and simply, because with super academic vocabulary or super advanced vocabulary or complex structures, you would not get any extra bonuses or grades. So you have to write, you can write strong motivational letter with intermediate level even. Not pre-intermediate, intermediate, upper intermediate level would be more than enough to write strong motivational letter. Sometimes I receive motivational letters for reading and providing feedback from undergraduate applicants, school graduates, yes? Those students who are going to finish school. And when I read, I have to look at the dictionary. When I check his IELTS, for example, he has got 5 or 5.5 from writing section from IELTS. I understand he did it intentionally. And when I ask them, why did you use such a complicated structure and vocabulary, advanced vocabulary? They say that I was told, or I have heard that somebody told him that if you use complex structures, advanced vocabulary, you would get more points. No, it's, I think, misleading information. I got some friends, for example, I can give you one example. I have a friend from Russia. He did his PhD in economics in MIT. And while doing his PhD, he was a member of admission team. And he said to me also that when he received such kind of letters, despite the fact that he studies at MIT, he had to look at the dictionary. And it creates certain problems for the readers, for the admission office, and they don't like it, according to my friend's words. So we don't need to make problems. We don't want to create problems for admission office. We want to make sure that they would read and comfortably read and enjoy your story. That's why don't try to use complicated structures or advanced vocabulary, okay? You can tell about it to your students as well. With simple words, with simple structures, you can deliver whatever information you would like to communicate or provide to admission office. And here at the end, then we'll go to questions, concrete questions about any scholarship. I can talk about it. Taking into account the urgency and demand of writing motivation letters, during 1 year, I've developed an online course on how to write motivation letters inside in the motivation letter writing. So it's online course. It's like 17 lessons. We have video content. I have text content, a lot of exercises, plus unique vocabulary of 155 words, which I developed after reading 300 successful Ivy League motivation letters. I collected these words, classified into categories, and provided the word itself, definition, example in the context, sample example in the context of motivation letter, plus my comments and recommendations. So if you're interested in purchasing this course, just write me directly so I can give you contacts. It actually costs $50, but for those who are attending today's webinar, it would be $25. If you're interested, just write me directly and I will explain, and I will send you the link. A bit later, I will send the link here so you can go through the link and get acquainted with the structure of the course. And if you like it, you can write me directly and I will send you a coupon with 50% discount, okay? I think that's it. It was like a general overview. In this online course, it has been developed, I mean, in structured way, and every paragraph is discussed, provided examples, techniques, and strategies. I believe that course would be really instrumental in developing your writing skills and creative writing skills as well. Now, I think it's high time to ask questions. Please feel welcome and just ask me any kind of questions about scholarships, and I would try to answer to each of them. So we have
Thank you,
questions.
Begzod. Yeah, thank you, Begzod. I think, yeah, they were really very useful tips and insights into how to be successful, how to write a successful motivation letter, right? So yeah, I think people started writing some questions. Can you see the questions?
Yes, there is a question. Is motivational letter is the same as personal statement? So first of all, let's see. We have such a kind of popular terms: motivational letter, cover letter, personal statement, and statement of purpose. Now let me explain them. Cover letter, it's сопроводительное письмо in Russian. So you write this letter when you apply to open job vacancies, when you want to get a job. It's clear, I believe. Next, personal statement and statement of purpose. Personal statement is usually written when you apply to undergraduate degree program. That's why it's personal, because you don't have professional experience, usually. That's why you write about your personal life. So that's why it's personal statement. Statement of purpose is usually applicable for master's degree candidates, postgraduate degree candidates, where you have to mention about your academic background, professional background, if you have one, and many other things. It's more complex. Motivational letter, in my opinion, is like general term, but in some cases, universities or programs, any kind of short-term or long-term programs, require motivational letter. In general, they all have one mission: to sell yourself. That's it. I think next question. Can you talk about Erasmus Master Scholarship? I mean, it's easy, difficult to get it. Well, I can tell you about from the perspective of Kazakhstan, because since I work here, majority of my clients are from Kazakhstan, but I don't think that there is a big difference. So Erasmus Mundus, it has different kind of programs. Not all programs are available, so you have to check their website and see if the program, when you want to apply, they have it. So they have different deadlines. For example, Chevening, it is 7th or 6th of November usually. DAAD, it's the 1st of November. For example, Fulbright, usually it's early May. But in terms of Erasmus Mundus, depending on the program, it differs. So actually it starts from October till February, depending on the program you want to apply. It has two stages. The first stage is the application form. You directly apply to the university, the main university, Scotland University, for example, any kind of university, through the application platform. provide 2 recommendation letters, 1 motivation letter, statement of purpose in your case. And the second part would be usually online interview. Afterwards, in 2-3 months, you will be notified if you have won or not. Actually, in terms of difficulty, let me do such a kind of comparison. Let's take Fulbright, Chevening, and Erasmus Mundus. So, for example, from Chevening, normally from Uzbekistan, since I applied from Uzbekistan, I know inside information, usually apply, I mean, they receive around more than 1,000 applications. I was told by like this in the embassy when I was passing. From 1,000 applications, only 15 students are invited, 15 candidates are invited for interview. Out of 15, 4 to 5 students actually receive scholarship. This is about Chevening. You can imagine 1,000 applicants, 4 places or 5 places. In terms of Fulbright, I don't know how many applicants apply, but I know that they provide like 5 to 7, 8 places. So it's more than Chevening. DAAD usually 15 places. So it's more than even, yes. In terms of Erasmus Mundus, as I know, I'm not sure, but as I heard, it's like around, again, 5 to 7. But they are all highly competitive. I cannot say that it's easier, but if we compare the workload you do while applying, of course, it's different. For example, for Chevening, you have to write 4 essays. For Erasmus Mundus, 1 motivational letter. For DAAD, 1. For Fulbright, 1 motivational letter and 1 study plan. So if we compare in this context, of course, Chevening is more, I mean, time-consuming and difficult because it takes more time to write 4 motivational letters. Nadir, I would ask you as well to read if you find some interesting questions to ask me, because I have read an article about South Korea University and I found out there is the lowest price tuition fees. The article says Guangzhou Institute of Science and Technology tuition fees. Can it be real, for example? Well, about South Korean universities, they're more affordable, but I don't think that it might cost $1,000. It's very cheap. In our country, I think Uzbekistan, it's, I mean, tuition fees higher than 1,000. But we have, you can, I mean, if you're not sure, write directly through email. This is how it works. This is how I do. If I can't find reliable information from the internet, I directly try to get in touch with them. Not wasting time and waiting something, okay? So I think many people are interested in Korea, yes? Last year when I was in Uzbekistan, Yogi University, I gave presentation and majority were interested in Korea. I think it's so popular in Uzbekistan to study in Korea or to apply to Korea. You can get up to 70% scholarship based on academic background. Shoira Ibadullayev. Well, it depends on the context, you know. There is no such kind of fixed information based on this credential, based on this background, you would get scholarship. It is holistic. I mean, it's general picture. Admission committee, when they receive your application, recommendation letters, motivation letters, maybe after interviews, they will try to assemble your puzzle. When they assemble your puzzle, if all elements are there, your eyes, everything, it's easy for them to make a right and wise decision. If some sort of information is missing and I can not see your ears or hair, so it's hard for me to judge. So from this perspective, like general, in complex, you have to look at it. Not one document plays the key role. All documents has its own, I mean, have its own value. Can we get scholarship from Harvard or Stanford University for master's degrees through Fulbright? Of course, Fulbright supports any university in the United States. Only medicine, you cannot apply to medicine. But if you want to study in Harvard, Stanford, any other major, you're welcome. There is no restriction in this regard, as far as I know. Can you send us your PowerPoint presentation? I think I will talk with Nadira, and I don't mind. I don't know how to do it technically. I think Nadira would help me.
Yes, yes, sure.
Could you talk about living in Germany? Did you know German then? I didn't know German. If you want to apply to CrossCulture internship program, you have to know either English or German. That's it. So to apply, you have to write 5 mini essays. You see everywhere essays, essays, essays. 1 recommendation letter. The second part would be interview. You don't have to provide any kind of improvement of your English proficiency. I mean, you don't need to have IELTS or TOEFL to be eligible. So through interview, we will find out, since I was there many years, I've been there 1 year. So through interview, we understand if he can communicate and work actually in Germany. I stayed in Berlin in center. I was given a flat, nice flat in city, Alexanderplatz, the central part of Berlin. And I worked in one of the biggest private language schools. They got 7-floor building. Can you imagine, for language school, private 7-floor high, big building, more than 1,000 students studying around the world, learning German, English, and other languages. And I enjoyed, actually. I think if you want to visit Germany, I think one of the best places would be Berlin, because it's capital city. There is something every day, every night. You would not be bored. I mean, cultural projects, everything. I mean, very big. But if you go to Köln, Düsseldorf, for example, small cities, you might get bored in a couple of weeks because they're very small. Living expense like 500 euros would be enough, actually, to live. I mean, to have students' life, let's say. Age limit, yes, we have age limit. For example, depending on scholarship. For example, DAAD, they have got age limit. Chevening doesn't have. Fulbright, I think, no. CrossCulture, there is no. For CrossCulture, you must have at least 1 year professional experience. That's it. You might be 22. If you have 1 year experience, go ahead and try yourself. In Middle Eastern countries, I think the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has normal scholarship. Yes, in Arabic world, they have scholarship as well. For example, Qatar University has got scholarship, very generous scholarships, actually. Saudi Arabia, I can't remember now the name, but they got really nice, generous scholarships in Arabic world. I mean, in Dubai, in Qatar specifically, in Abu Dhabi, I mean, they got scholarship. And they got very, I mean, nice university. For example, NYU, New York University has got, I mean, Abu Dhabi campus. Wonderful campus. They got scholarship. They got campus. They got Abu Dhabi campus, and they got Shanghai campus. And Abu Dhabi campus has got full scholarship. It's like more than $300,000 they provide you for your studies for 4 years if it's an undergraduate degree. For masters, you have to check, but it's like full coverage. What else we got? Nadira, maybe you noticed something.
Yeah, there was one question whether they can apply to more than one scholarship at a time, 2 or 3 scholarships.
Of course they can. There is no limitation or restriction because they have different, I mean, timelines and deadlines. That's why you can apply all of them. What's the problem? I mean,
Yes.
actually, you are not asked if you apply to other scholarship or not. That's why go ahead. If you have, I mean, all required documents, I mean, IELTS or TOEFL, depending on the case, GRE or GMAT, if you're a master's degree candidate, apply, try yourself. Of course, it's not wise and reasonable to apply to one scholarship and wait when you have everything to apply to other scholarship as well. This is how it works.
Okay, we have another question about, could you please talk about Erasmus Master's Scholarship? Is it difficult to get in?
Actually, I talked about it. As I compared, yes. I mean, in comparison, they are all challenging to get. In terms of workload, in terms of number of essays, of course, Erasmus is easier comparing to Chevening, because in Chevening you write 4 essays and provide 2 recommendation letters, while in Erasmus Mundus you provide 1 motivation letter and 2 recommendation letters. From this perspective, of course, it's easier, but competitiveness is the same. There are governmental programs, full scholarship. That's why all bright STEM candidates usually apply to these programs.
Yeah, just wanted to remind, we did webinars with the current Erasmus Mundus scholarship winners here in the UK and France. So you can watch that. So you may, it's in Uzbek language, so you can watch it and you might get more insight on that.
One more question, the last question. 6 is 6 good for Chevening? I can tell you one thing. To win Chevening scholarship, you don't need any kind of IELTS or TOEFL. They don't care about it until you win scholarship, actually. Chevening is the money, okay? It's not admission to the university. Chevening doesn't guarantee admission. You have to apply to Chevening in order to get money. So at the same time, you have to apply to universities to get admission. That's why if you don't have IELTS now, but you might have it in next, for example, spring, that's totally fine. Just go ahead, apply. And that's it. And the final results are usually announced in final would be actually in mid-June. From mid-June till mid-July, they would ask you to provide IELTS certificate. This is when they ask you. But when you apply, for example, when you win, they don't need it. Why they ask you? Because in order to receive UK visa, you have to have IELTS certificate, and it has to be UKVI format. The structure is the same with academic one, but it's more expensive. That's it. So if you want to apply to Chevening and planning to take IELTS academic UKVI. Otherwise, you will not get students visa from the UK.
Really? Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting. I've never,
Yes.
I didn't know. It wasn't like that before when
It
I
wasn't like
studied.
that. It's like
When I
pretty-
studied. So like for example, Chevening scholarship, right? So you have to take oh my God, yeah, that one, right? UKVI.
UKVI.
But what about universities? So universities also require that?
No, university require academic IELTS.
Exactly. So you have to take both?
No, you have, because UKVI actually it is academic one, but I don't know why they decided to make it different, because it's money, I guess, because academic one
Yes.
around $100 roughly,
Right.
UKVI is $200.
Okay.
That's the only difference. If you take academic one, and if you get accepted, you would get accepted with academic one. When you apply to UK visa, it would not work. So you have to take UKVI.
God. Oh my God, that's so unfair.
But if you know
And
well
what
advanced,
about UKVI? Does universities accept that?
of course.
Yes. Okay. Good.
That's why
Yeah.
from the beginning, when you apply, take UKVI. If you want to study
Okay.
in the UK,
UK,
if you
right?
want to study in any other countries, academic one, our old one, would be more than enough.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that I think that was a great point. Saying many people ask, like, is like also people write to me saying, is IELTS 5 enough, or like there is no kind of, there's one thing like for like, or even scholarships, they don't define this IELTS level. It's the universities who decide what should be your minimum language requirement, right? So, and the program, you know, each university, each program has different language requirements. So you have to check each the program that you want to study, right? So
yes. One question: can you please talk about interviews? Many fail in that stage. Thank you for the question. Actually, thank you, because I can tell you, as I told you, I have applied so many scholarship programs directly, and all the time I've been finalist, but not always successful at the end, unfortunately, because my essays always were successful. Actually, I progressed to the final stage, but when it was interview, not always. I can tell you one example. 2017, 3 years ago, I applied to Chevening, and at the same time, I applied to Civil Society Leadership Award Program, sponsored by Source Foundation. So what happened? I progressed to final stage, interview, both cases, yes? So I went, it was in Almaty, so admission team came to Almaty, interviewed all Central Asian finalists in Almaty. And when I entered, there were 3 people sitting. I mean, one expert in education, as I was applying to education, master's degree in education leadership. And they started asking questions. And in the middle of interviews, they said that we are not going, actually, the meaning of the sentence was like this: we knew in advance that we are not going to give you a scholarship. The message was like that. And I said, why did you invite me then? I spent my time, yes, got ready, asked permission from my workplace, for example, and many other stuff, yeah? And she said she was Chinese, actually, from England, and she did her PhD in my education and did research about Central Asia. Actually, she knows everything about Central Asia. And she says that we saw your CV, and we were impressed, and we wanted to get acquainted with you. And I said, what is the reason why you are not ready? Because she said, you're too good for us. And the person whom I helped, my friend, my classmate, he got, because he was the teacher in a college in Samarkand. He was in his mid-career path. I was a general director of the company at the time. So in another case, it is Civil Society Leadership Award. In Chevening, they told me that you should work a little bit more to qualify, so take your time. What I want to say, every project is looking for its own clients. So before applying, you have to do your research and see if you are the candidate or not. Because from my practical experience, I was not good enough for Chevening at that year, but too good for Civil Society Leadership Award program, you see? How to find this middle, you know, the key point. So from this perspective, it is important to do analysis where you apply and to, evaluate your chances, yes? Now about interview, yes. So how can you do it? Nowadays, all these projects are very popular, and on the internet, you can find a lot of information about those people who have passed. When you know the questions, actually 70 to 80% questions you can find from the internet well in advance. And you have to get ready for them. Be relaxed, first of all, it's like general stuff, yes? Be relaxed, be confident, and enjoy the process of communication, because there are also people, when usually I go to the interview, I say myself, they're also people. They got families, probably, they got children, they might have some problems, and so on. Human beings. If that person say no, so that's okay. It's like, maybe you know, there was such kind of very famous leader, president of India. I can't remember which president in terms of 21st and so on. Abdul Kalam. Maybe you have heard about him. He was president and very famous writer. And he says, he gives definition to some famous words. For example, fail, no. For example, if somebody says sorry, it says no, yes? Abdul Kalam says no, it's not negative word for me, he says. It is next opportunity. So when somebody says no, continue, keep chasing your dream, and you eventually get it. It's a matter of time. That's it. Or fail. According to Abdul Kalam, fail is first attempt in learning. So if you fail, so you're learning. So you have to keep this idea in your mind, and whenever you try, be sure that you're receiving something anyway, developing, learning, sharpening your skills, even if you don't get it from the first attempt. I got rejected like 20 times when applying directly to universities, okay? Nowadays, my least favorite word, you know what is my least favorite word? Regret. When you receive a letter, it starts, "Dear Begzod, we regret to inform you." That's enough. I don't want to read the rest of the letter, you know? So I don't like this word, you know? So I got such a kind of regret letter so many times. Now when I receive, that's okay for me, you know? I don't care about it because it's life. You have to try all the time. Continue growing, learning, and trying. This is the key to success. There is no another formula or secret to be a successful person. And learning all the time. Many people mistakenly consider that when you receive degree, that's it, education is finished. No, it's a lifelong process. Yes, I think everybody would agree with me. That's why just get ready, practice questions you can find from the internet. I'm sure for it. And try to come up with original answers. I like reading books is not enough. I like reading what kind of books and why such kind of books. You have to provide the information and back up this information. 2 sentences, maximum 3 would be enough when interview, okay? You don't need to talk a lot of things, just concrete to the point. Question is asked, answer to this question, but provide evidences. So I would believe, trust you. Okay, what else? Can you tell us working during study? Can you tell me about education first in UK? My question may be out of topic, sorry for that. Can you tell me about education first? What do you mean? Are you talking about company, EF, or what? Just because it's a little bit confusing for me, so I will see. Working during study is possible. For example, if you have student visa, if it is the United States, it's F1 visa. So F1 visa provides you opportunity to work 20 hours per week legally, okay? So I'm highlighting it. So 80 hours per month you can work legally. But many students, it's not secret, work at the weekends to make more money. So it's possible, yes. In the UK, it's the same situation. And after graduating university in the United States, you can stay. They have optional training project, so you can stay from 1 to up to 3 years, depending on the profession. If it is important and profession in the United States, you might be granted 3-year permission, at least 1 year. So during this period, you can gain valuable experience, professional experience. The same situation now in the UK as well. They changed the regulations. From now on, if you apply and continue study, after finish, you can stay in the UK and work for 2 years. EF language course. I can tell you one thing, actually, courses are okay in general, but you can save money and improve your language skills in Kazakhstan, in Uzbekistan as well. I know EF from inside because I was invited to become the country manager, EF Kazakhstan. 4 years ago, and they got 8 stages. Can you imagine 8 stages of interviews? I felt in the fifth. They are very serious about the employees, actually. I can tell you this one. In terms of quality, I got positive feedback and I got negative feedback. That's why it's hard not to say something. But in general, they're a very big company, well structured. Berlit Hals is the founder of this company. He has dyslexia. He can't write and read. That's why after completing school, he decided to do something and started this business. And it has become, I mean, global company nowadays. That's just background information. Okay, anything else?
Yeah, there was one question at the very beginning. One person was asking about, so he's the final years of undergraduate studies, and he's saying that many scholarships are for already graduate students. So
okay, let me explain it. For this candidate, I think he sent me a message through my website as well. Ruzim wrote something, I think, I can't remember. Okay, for Chevening, no. For Fulbright, no. Without experience, no. For that, it's okay. For Erasmus, it's okay. So you can apply to that for Erasmus, Hungarian scholarship program, Korea, without having experience, while being the last year student at the university.
Mm-hmm. So if they're on year 4, they can already apply, right?
Yes,
for master's
yes.
degree. Yeah, that's for sure. Mm-hmm.
Anything else? Mother, I can't hear you.
Yes, I'm muted. Yeah, thank you very much. I think that that's all. Everybody is saying thank you. Yeah, really helpful. Yeah, I really enjoyed today's webinar. I think you touched base all the programs, and I'm really amazed by the knowledge and experience you have with all the scholarships that are available for Central Asian students. And I'm sure, yeah, if people take these course, enroll in your course, they will benefit a lot.
Actually, just for information, so the course is ready. In 2 months, hopefully I will publish my first book about how to write motivation letter. It would be called Finding Your Voice. And next year, I have already started writing. I think, establish online course and book about how to write strong and convincing recommendation letters, because it's a big problem as well. You approach a professor, he says, write down, I would put my signature, right? And you don't know how to do it. I had this case with myself in the university in Tashkent. So taking into account this problem in our region, at least in our region, so I've decided to focus on this problem as well. So this is the general information. And if you have any other questions, you can reach me through motivationalletter.kz. So I wrote it on the chat as well. So I have contact details there, WhatsApp, Telegram, everything I got. So
could you please write it once more? I don't know, maybe it went up. Yeah, could you leave your contacts, how they can contact you?
Through website, you can find my contact details. Phone, WhatsApp, everything.
Thank you very much. And may I give some recommendations?
Okay.
Okay, excuse me. Well, this month we had a month's course from the University of North Carolina at Wilmington, which was sponsored by the U.S. Embassy in Tashkent. That was very interesting for us, where we learned especially communication in English, especially in writing. It was very interesting. They taught us how to write, especially our elevator, how to speak it. For me, it was very new. For example, elevator pitch. Before, we never heard about that, what elevator pitch is. I had no idea about that, but I think nowadays we have an idea. As you told above, it is elevator pitch is advertising yourself. For example, some people ask, tell something about you, not just about you, about your family, about your age. Especially in elevator pitch, you are recommended to tell about something about your working skills for a job, for example. It is an interview, usual interview in the USA, for example, for a job. and maybe you write an elevator pitch sometimes. And I think in our universities we have to add something in writing skills. For example, communicative writing, to improve the communicative writing of students. We are lack of lessons like this. For example, we don't know how to write essays. We don't know how to write something in English, and we don't know how to communicate, or even we don't know how to write emails. Emails also should be persuasive. It is also so new for us. For example, before we didn't pay attention to that, but now we know how to write persuasive essays. They should not be negative, with so negative ideas. You should be positive always, and etc. I think we have to learn something. And if you write your book, or if you publish your book, I think that will be okay for us.
Thank you. I just want to say one thing. Thank you for touching this topic, urgent topic. Frankly speaking, my ultimate dream is to incorporate motivational letter writing or creative writing projects or course into the curriculum of our universities, at least. So in order to do it, we need to have books. I couldn't find a book about motivational letter, actually. We have cover letter books about how to write cover letter, but not motivational letters. So that's why I decided to write, and I plan to translate it into Uzbek because I wrote it in English, and I will try. I have friends in the Ministry of Education of Uzbekistan. We'll do some experiments, pilot projects, and if it works out, we will try, because this is my dream, actually, that the knowledge I would share, yes, my legacy, let's say, to students in Uzbekistan specifically, use this knowledge and become more competitive, both in academic and corporate setting. That's very important. We don't know how to sell ourselves. That's a big problem. We are taught in different way. Maybe it's one of peculiarity of our region, but still we can develop this skill and become more competitive, not only on regional level, but on international level as well.
And I think nowadays we are wasting our time just learning grammar or something in a foreign language. Maybe even in our mother tongue, for example, Uzbek, we have Uzbek lessons, but we just learn grammar lessons at our universities. I think at our universities we have to teach them how to write, or how to write something, essays and anything, maybe even in Uzbek.
Yes. Nilüfer, I can tell you one thing. I understand you raised a very important, urgent question, but we should understand one thing. I believe that those people who are working in the ministry, yes, they understand and realize that it is important, but there are two problems. We need relevant books to teach and experienced professionals. That's a problem, you know, it takes time, it's not 1 year. So, for example, if you want to learn motivational letter writing, yes, we don't have teachers, we don't have experts actually. I have become one. I don't know how it happened, but
we have to retrain them, all of them.
Through errors and trials, right? Trials and error, right? So you learn this on your own, like kind of personal experience, right? Yeah, Nilüfer, you're absolutely right. But then, like, you as a teacher, you can start this initiative, right? Bottom up. Yeah. So you can start implementing this in your own classes and then sharing this with your colleagues, right? So yeah, don't wait everything to be done kind of from top down, right? Because it takes time, right? Any change, any reforms take time.
Yes, that's true. That's why keep learning, that's it, and challenging yourself.
Right.
Thank you for your motivating webinar.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, thank you so much. I think we can call a day, right? So yeah, thank you very much, Begzod. Yeah, we really enjoyed it. It was really motivational and very informative. Yeah, thank you so much.
Nice.